Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course the law of attraction. If you are here tuned into the reading today, regardless of when or where you are listening from in terms of linear space or time, know that your personal frequency is actively co-creating the reading and all of the messages that manifest through this reading video today. With that being said, I am so appreciative to each and every one of you here. I know that many of us are planted in different times, places, and spaces all over the world. And that is no accident. Very often, those who share a similar core frequency will be scattered in different times, spaces, and places in order to have a greater impact on the collective consciousness as a whole. And because of this, often many of those who are of a higher consciousness, who are old souls, who come here with a very strong sense of purpose into this world, into this life, often tend to feel a kind of soul loneliness because they have an awareness that their core frequency and sometimes their core soul values are different from those who are around them. And if you've felt that kind of what I'm referring to here as soul loneliness, then I really hope that this channel, this space here on YouTube can be a place to come back to and find a little bit of a sense of home or connectedness that you might not always experience in your day-to-day physical life. And again, I am really grateful to all of you who are playing such a powerful role in co-creating the energy here and this space here. So I am starting today by shuffling the Moonology deck. I don't really have a sense for exactly where the reading today is going to go. I'm going to be leaving it very open-ended and just channeling whatever wants to come through. Now, with that being said, if you would like to contribute your energy in a more powerful way, you can do so by liking the video and also subscribing to the channel. These are forms of energetic transference, and this allows me to pick up more easily on your energy and channel more specifically for you and your situation. So the two cards we have right away here are Emotions Are Running High and Believe in the Impossible. So because I have a card referencing emotions here coming out right away, I want to follow this trail a little bit by pulling a few cards from the Soul's Journey deck, which I often refer to as my emotions deck, because many of the cards in here are very emotionally based. Okay, so the first card we have here is indecision. So someone may be feeling indecisive about something in their life. I'm seeing a crossroads. So the person I'm channeling into here might feel as though they are at some kind of crossroads. For some reason, I saw a monkey. This could resonate with someone in some type of way. I know I don't always channel specific names, details, images, etc. that come through the readings, but I do like to incorporate those whenever possible because I know that sometimes those do connect with different individuals in very personal ways. But of course, as I always say, it is always the most essential thing to listen to your own intuition, which guides you perfectly in all aspects of your life. And My videos are really just meant to be used as a tool to help you possibly confirm what your own intuition is already speaking to you. So, interestingly, here we have indecision, but also guilt in the reverse position. So I feel as though what is coming into play with this energy of indecision is that someone may be feeling guilty regarding either being in this indecisive place, being at this crossroads. It's also possible that someone could be guilty because of the choice or decision that their heart desires to make. For some reason, there's also an element here of possibly outsiders or other people not really understanding the decision that's being made and possibly judging that decision. I'm seeing whispering, so you might feel as though there is external gossip surrounding whatever choice or decision is being made here. It also might feel as though something involving this indecision or this choice being made might feel as though it is impossible. For some reason, I saw brown curly hair here for someone that could be resonant. With believe in the impossible, it's almost as though someone feels like they're in an impossible situation, or what they really desire the most feels impossible. So there may be some concern here that I'm struggling to make this decision because what I really desire doesn't feel like a possibility here. It's like someone is seeing a vision beyond what seems practical, possible, reasonable, beyond what other people most likely understand here. And my guides are telling me that is actually this person perceiving into a higher vibrational timeline that they are rising to align with, but might not fully yet be aligned with. So what is going on here is it's almost as though someone is feeling indecisive because they realize that I'm almost seeing like when you're on the first floor of a building, let's call that a particular timeline. I may even make a podcast video about this in the future. Let me know if that's something you're interested in. I am so passionate about talking about things quantum related, timelines, how to align with higher vibrational timelines, etc. So do let me know in the comments if that's something you want to hear more about. But yeah, I'm getting this energy of it's almost as though metaphorically someone has been in the first floor of a building. Again, let's call that a particular timeline. And let's say that from this first floor of a building, you see two hallways. Let's call these two hallways your choices, and you standing there at the, let's say, outside the elevator is behind you, so you don't quite see it yet. And you're looking forward, seeing these two paths, these two hallways, choices that you have. If you are a spiritually conscious person, you're very in tune with your intuition. So tangibly, you only see two paths, but something in your gut says there's more here that I'm not able to fully physically perceive. That is your intuition trying to tell you that there are more floors above you. And ultimately, as you have undergone this spiritual awakening, you are learning how to find and operate the elevator of this building in order to rise to higher levels, from which vantage point you will then be presented with options that may have seemed impossible because technically they were not available to you on the first floor, but that you always sensed were essentially out there for you. And as you followed out that intuition, got into this metaphorical elevator, raised your vibration, rose up to the next floor of this building, which is a higher timeline here, you then were presented with other options, possibilities, and outcomes that you sensed were possible, but that weren't actually accessible to you from that first floor vantage point. Now, the problem is most people around you are only comfortable with the floor that they're on. So if you are seeing and interacting with other physical others on that first floor, and you tell them, hey, I see these two choices, but I feel like there are higher alternatives I just can't fully grasp or perceive yet, they will call you crazy. They might call you delusional. They might call you unrealistic or impractical, and try to pressure you to just choose one of the directions from your current vantage point, because they themselves haven't reached the level of consciousness to be able to connect with their own intuition and sense that there are more floors to this building. I hope that this metaphor has been helpful for someone. I, again, also would really love to speak on this more in future videos, but needless to say, I feel as though whoever here has found themselves making some kind of choice or decision, again, with a lot of emotions around it, you might be feeling guilty for either the choice you sense you need to make or for being in a place that, from a physical perspective, looks stuck or stagnant. But know that you are actually being guided by your intuition into an outcome or a solution that might actually look impossible or impractical to other people around you, but that your soul is leading you into. Now, we also have man holding a coin reversed. So this tells me that for someone listening, there could be someone attached to your energy who is going through an awakening. This is someone who tends to be very practical, very logical. Something is causing them to question their sense of logic. This is someone who has been very tied into one specific timeline. This is connecting as someone who may have connected with you on a particular floor of that metaphorical building, on a particular timeline. And it's almost as though when you chose to rise to the next floor of that building or to rise to a higher vibrational timeline, temporarily, it may have looked like you had to leave this particular person behind, because we have the walking away card in the upright position. Yeah, there may have also been, as a result of this, some kind of physical disconnect or separation. You yourself may have felt extremely lonely going through this awakening, realizing that there were more floors to this building, beginning to raise your vibration to a level that other people could not fully comprehend. And again, there may have been, as a result of that, some necessity to leave certain people behind, at least from a physical perspective, temporarily. It also may have felt as though you were uprooting many things that you had built in a direction that didn't feel aligned for you. This could be a relationship, a particular friend circle. This could be a job, a career, but I'm just getting the sense that you may have built yourself up in some kind of direction that was very satisfying to the ego self, but was very dissatisfying to the soul, because the soul was aware that by remaining on that pathway, regardless of how much you had built there physically, you were keeping yourself tied into a particular timeline, and you sensed again that there was something more in alignment with you at a more core soul level. We keep getting the heart chakra card in the reverse position. So it could be that someone's heart was closed here. I'm hearing cold. Someone went emotionally cold, and This caused you to remain stuck in a lower vibrational frequency and therefore a lower vibrational timeline. In order to keep aligning with these higher vibrational timeline trajectories, you had to choose to walk away from someone who had emotionally gone cold towards you or closed off their heart towards you. I'm hearing you had to go where it was warm, where love was flowing, where you felt loved and seen and supported, because your heart couldn't thrive and expand in the environment that you were in with that particular person. And because of that, the heart holds the most magnetic energy of all the chakra centers. So when you were around an influence that caused you to artificially want to close off your heart, that magnetism was really working the other way, meaning you felt very stuck, very stagnant, very demagnetized, essentially. But now you are really on this path of learning to, again, go where it's warm, go where the love is. I don't know why I'm getting that message so strongly for someone. I really hope that reaches whoever needs to hear it. But I feel as though as you go where the love is, as you, in essence, follow your heart, as cliche as that sounds, but in actual application, that following of your heart is following the energy of love, specifically love that feels safe, supportive, mutual, unconditional. This provides environments where your heart space, your heart chakra energy can actually grow, expand, and create this magnetic field around you. I'm hearing receptive. You're learning how to be in that receptive energy through going where the love is, through keeping your heart soft and open, being around people who support you in that softness, in that openness, in that receptivity. I'm hearing I live in a universe that is unconditionally loving. And perhaps that's a really powerful affirmation for someone listening, because as you continue to move towards things, people, and environments that love and support you in a way that feels unconditional, you continue to affirm that truth and make it your reality, meaning you will attract more and more of that unconditionally loving energy into your life from many different sources and directions. And this will continue to amplify that magnetism of your being through that wide open heart chakra space. So this, of course, could apply to anyone in your life. This doesn't necessarily need to be romantic in nature. This could actually be platonic. This could be community-wise, socially, etc. I do want to dive a bit more into this believe in the impossible card. What is someone believing in that feels impossible? Okay, something that has been a point of stress or causing anxiety with the anxiety card. I'm also getting something about 18, the number 18. This also could be 18 months that someone approximately has been thinking about this, worrying about this, wondering about this. A powerful spiritual activation is taking place here with the crown chakra. It's almost like there is a facing off of that crown chakra energy against that ego energy represented by the thinking man. I'm hearing, how much do you trust yourself? How much do you trust your true self, that inner self, to guide you, to lead you into where you want to go? Because someone here has really been on a path of releasing a lot of the control mechanisms of the thinking mind. Again, allowing themselves to believe in things that might look or seem impossible from a physical 3D perspective, but are actually perfectly logical to the soul that recognizes those higher levels of the building that represent these higher timelines that just aren't physically visible yet. So how are these two energies facing off here with the crown chakra and the thinking man? Okay, so time is the biggest factor here. When I speak of time, what I really mean is There is a subconscious unraveling of old ego-based programming that is happening very naturally and very automatically in whoever I am speaking about here. I see this almost representing here as well the facing off of the 3D mentalities against the 5D mentalities, because I feel as though someone may have found themselves recently, perhaps in the last 18 months for someone specifically, in that what we might call 4D space, where they are still feeling as though they are a little bit in a dark tunnel, walking blindly. They are beginning to fully hear the call of their own intuition and learn how to solidify that connection between the body and the soul, the thinking mind and the intuitive self. And yet oftentimes that guidance is followed in a way that feels blind, that still creates feelings of uncertainty. There might at times as well be a temptation to double back or to slip back into old, more ego-based ways of thinking from a place of control, simply because those new fifth dimensional vibrational pathways aren't yet fully solidified. They are in process of solidifying themselves. Again, the key here is all of this is happening extremely automatically because it's taking place at the subconscious level. And what all of this reprogramming, which is essentially a deprogramming of the false self that was picked up by society's limiting beliefs and idea systems, this deconstruction of the false self, which is allowing more of the true self to begin vibrating in a very solid way, is preparing you vibrationally to step into a powerful next phase of your life that perhaps you felt in process of for quite some time. In fact, it may be even slightly frustrating to hear someone say that because you've almost felt this new beginning right within your reach for so long now. You can feel yourself entering into this new era, but oftentimes there is such an intense loneliness with community reverse that comes up here. There is also feelings of doubt and uncertainty or high levels of emotionality that might crop up from time to time in that 4D space where you are still kind of in between the 3D and the 5D. However, what your guides want you to know is an incredible amount of expansion is happening through all of this, specifically through the loneliness, because let's clarify a little bit. I saw the High Priestess card. So through the what might feel to the human self like loneliness or isolation, you are really fully stepping into your High Priestess energy by eliminating any remnant karmic energies from your field that resonate with more of that 3D mentality, energies connected with needing to control, to chase, to push things into place, to love the self or others conditionally. Those modalities are being dissolved and replaced with loving frequencies, with self-supportive frequencies, and frequencies that are naturally supportive of others as well. And I see that represented by the Caring Connections card here in the upright position, that if you are aligning with this reading, you might feel loneliness at times because remnant karmic energies are being cleared out from your being, which means Spirit will no longer allow those who are vibrating dominantly in a karmic place to connect with you long-term physically. So as many of these people and situations seem to be vibrating out of your experience at times, you are aligning with love, with care, with support, and with those who embody those types of frequencies. I also see with the Deceit card and the Adjacent Possibilities card, both in the reverse position, that some powerful truth has been or will be coming to light regarding. There's something specific here about someone who's feeling very set on you. very magnetized, drawn in by your unconditionally loving energy, but specifically the way that you love, care for, and honor yourself. This is someone who connects with you when you are loving, supporting, honoring yourself. It may feel as though this person actually dips in and out of your reality physically at times. I'm hearing they're a timeline traveler, almost like a time traveler, but they're traveling through timelines. And what I mean by this is this particular person seems to be still solidifying themselves on a higher vibrational timeline. You are more solidly on that higher vibrational pathway. And what that means is those who are engaging with karmic patterns, energies, lower vibrational frequencies aren't able to connect with you consistently. But this person, I see them, their energy represented almost by a wave that goes up and comes down. So it's like sometimes they rise up to these higher timelines and connect with you. Other times the energy lowers, they dip back down, and there is this natural disconnection here. But I do see that the two of you tend to naturally connect when you are in this energy of self-love, self-appreciation, embodying that frequency of unconditional love. You also might find that equally, just how when this person dips into lower vibrational timelines, they can't connect with you. You might find that when you are slipping back into more fear-based ways of thinking, of course, there is no going back from a larger perspective. So I'm talking temporarily here. For example, let's say you have a day where you are feeling knocked down by a lot of waves of emotion, feeling a lot coming up for you, and kind of slipping down into just a little bit of lower vibrational mindsets, which of course is perfectly natural, because I just feel I have to say this as well. This path of evolution you are on as a spiritual being is a powerful one, and it is an intense one. So go easy on yourself, because it is so natural to feel knocked over by the waves sometimes. But when you are in that place, you might actually find that you feel very disconnected physically from this particular person. Again, the reason is the two of you seem to really be in alignment. When you're both in these higher frequency states of being, you seem to already be in some kind of a union state harmoniously on a very high vibrational timeline. I could see that through my third eye. And yet in the physical, you both tend to connect or disconnect depending on your current mood and emotional state of being. So this can cause your connection physically to be very confusing. This could be platonic or romantic, but I do feel for many of you, this is a romantic situation specifically. I am going to pull a card or two from the traditional tarot deck. Okay, so wow, we have some powerful cards here. So first we have the 6, if I can read correctly, 6 of Wands reversed, the 10 of Cups, and the 3 of Cups. So what I'm getting here is with the 4 of Wands that someone actually may be feeling as though they have failed you or failed this connection. You could even be the one feeling as though you are walking away because something has failed here or not quite come together. But ironically, I'm really seeing huge markers of potential harmonious coming together and stability here. A lot of celebratory reunion energy in the long term. Now, long term seems to be the key, because I'm hearing whatever is happening immediately at this moment in your connection, which might feel like a failure, might feel like a disconnection or an uncertainty, is not an indicator of what is actually in store potentially for the two of you in the long term. Because again, the 10 of Cups and the 3 of Cups are both very powerful cards for coming together, for some kind of harmonious union, particularly when it comes to love and romance. We also have the Page of Wands. So I see this particular person being in this Page of Wands energy. I'm not sure why I'm getting the energy of like a sales pitch, but with a relationship, almost like someone trying to sell the idea of being together with you, someone trying to make some kind of offer to come together, or thinking about how they can go about catching your interest or causing you to want to move forward in some type of way. This is very interesting. What else can I get from this card here? This feels like a lot of new energy flowing, even if it's an old connection. Yeah, it feels like someone has been in the energy of delay. It could be the other person here that has seemed to be sitting on the fence. It seems as though during this time, however, truth has been revealed to them. A lot is being exposed. There is a strong energy of exposure around this particular person's energy, which actually might be the reason that there has been this delay in them making some kind of offer here or moving forward. They may have come off as cold or almost like their heart was closed to you, but really it's as though their energy was being shut down to allow them to have some kind of truth fully exposed to them. Specifically, there may be exposure surrounding people near them. This could be a relationship romantically in their life, but this also could be friends, family members, people in their life who do not love them unconditionally. It's almost as though you entered this person's life and illuminated to them beyond the shadow of a doubt what unconditional love really feels like. And now that they've had a taste of that, it's almost like they're comparing everything to you, where now they have an awareness of what that real unconditional love feels like. So they're also seeing the truth exposed about people around them who do not love them or care for them in that same unconditional kind of way. And I am seeing a lot of unhappiness or disconnection in this person's either relationships or social circle at this time. Because of that reason, we also have the Five of Wands. So there may be fighting, arguments, and ultimately this person walking away in a way that those around them might perceive as an abandonment, but is really just them abandoning a false version of themselves that connected with these others in their life. It may just be one other person I'm referring to in their life here, but this also could be multiple people as well. So take this as it resonates. But I do see this person taking control of the situation in the sense that once all of this truth around them is exposed, I see them taking that sense, that newfound sense of clarity, and stepping forward with a new kind of energy towards you who are listening to this reading at this time. So, wow, a fast kind of barrage of interesting messages coming through right at the end of this YouTube reading. I will be channeling additional messages and pieces of information in our Patreon reading. So if you would like more information about joining our Patreon Soul Tribe, the link to that is in the pinned comment and description box under the video. In that extended reading, I will be channeling more into this very unique energy, particularly what this person is thinking or feeling, how this situation could ultimately move forward. I will also be sharing more about that 3D versus 5D kind of face-off, I was calling it, that I felt happening within many people who are listening, how you might be feeling those energies within yourself or in your life. And of course, we will be sharing any additional spirit guide or higher self messages that want to come through that reading as well. And again, the link to the extended reading is in the pinned comment and description box under the video. To close this first reading here, I will be letting Rumi close the reading as usual. These Rumi messages are always so beautiful. I really do love this deck. I'm not sponsored or anything like that, but I do really recommend exploring the Rumi Oracle deck. You can find it on Amazon, even They come with such beautiful artwork on the cards, and the messages from the guidebook are so incredibly high vibrational and uplifting. So let's go ahead and read one final message here. Under the cover of blood, love veils many rose gardens. In total faith, love tenderly guides every lover to the garden of the heart. Reason says the world is limited in 6 directions. There is no way out. Love says there is a way, and I have traveled it many times. Rumi. And the guidebook also says, wow, okay, I just got a wave of chills because this directly relates to that very first one of 2 cards that we pulled that said, believe in the impossible. Because the guidebook here says, love guides us through travails that seem improbable, if not impossible. It does not shy away from any challenge, from any cause. It cannot. It is just love's way. Love says there is always another way. You are receiving this guidance now. Perhaps you are scratching your head quizzically or are in deepest despair because you appear to have met a dead end, a frowning no or a dismissing laugh upon your quest to bring love alive. So then, do you choose to believe in love or in the death of sorts your heart faces? Your heart shall rally. I choose death because that is the portal to new life. And so it is wise, you see, but you must be brave. To be burned in love, by love, for love will involve endurance of pain, but it will also place it in context. It is the shortest pain that is not compounded by erroneous thinking. That pain comes and goes quite quickly when you realize that love is simply playfully saying, not that way, beloved. Come, take this one. So you are being guided to accept the closed doors, the death, the pain, and to let it become tinder for your fire. That sacred phoenix, ready to die into life within you, is hungry for the fire. You may feel as though you have been wandering in a desert for many years with no oasis in sight. You might have been through darkness, through trials, endured confusion and uncertainty as you sought for your truth, sought divine revelation, and sought your purpose to confirm your plans. Seek no more. The answers are now given, or very soon will be. And the life, the passion, the purpose, it will all come to you in clarity. So that feels like a really beautiful place to close the reading. Again, thank you so much to all of you who have tuned into the reading today. If you would like to now head over with me to the extended reading on Patreon, you can click the link in the pinned comment or description box under the video to do so. Otherwise, I am sending you all so much love, wishing you a beautiful start to your week, and I will connect with you here again in Wednesday's reading.